Right. Right. Thank you again, Rabbi Danan, for joining us to continue your I think.
Okay, we're just gonna go back over the basics, and then I would like to briefly explain the etymology of the word tefillin and where it comes from. And can anybody suggest where's the first place it says tefillin? You won't find the word tefillin in Torah. Huh? Palal, yeah. First place is the Targum. The Targum right next to the Chumash. Targum. First place you find tefillin. It's very interesting where this word comes from. Okay, but let's just remind ourselves of a few basic requirements, and we were going really through the psukim of tefillin shel yad and tefillin shel rosh. So, what's the basic difference between tefillin shel yad and tefillin shel rosh? Correct. Separate compartments, separate parchments, right? Separate, and that we learn that from the word uletotafot. First, totafot. Chazal say in two tat-fat. This is a difficult word. Tat-fat, totafot. What exactly does it mean? The simple meaning is an adornment, a piece of an adornment which goes on the head. The source for that is a Mishnah in Shabbat, which speaks about the sixth parak of Shabbat, speaks about what a woman is allowed to wear, what's considered wearing and what's considered a carrying. But one of the things it says that she's allowed to go, there's a gzerah on Shabbat that she might come and take it off and to show a friend. One of the things is totefet. Totefet was like a band with a metal band with saying Yerushalayim. So it was like a piece of ornament, a piece of jewelry. So this is our jewelry. This is our pride. This is our adornment, that we pride ourselves rather than hiding an apologetic Judaism, as some people call it. No, we're proud. This is our tachshit, that we've got Shem Hashem Nikra Lecha. So totfat, totfat means four. Yeah, but also you can see it. Totafot is plural. Yeah, and yet it says by the tefillin shel yad, v'haya lecha leot. V'haya means and it shall be. Yeah, it shall be as one ot on your hand. And on the other hand, it says uletatafot benenecha. So that's how we learn that tefillin shel yad has to be one parchment, one box, and tefillin shel rosh is 4 compartments. Now, the 4 parashiot are the same. The 4 parashiot are Kadesh Li, Vaya Keviacha, Vaya Shema, and Vaya Im Shema. Those are the 4 times where it mentions to put on tefillin. Now, in the tefillin shel yad, all on one compartment, Kadesh Li. So what comes first? In the Quran, Kadesh Li and Vaya Keviacha, which are found where, Rabotai? At the end of Parashat Bo, and then you've got Shema and Vaya'im Shema, which are in the book of Dvarim. Yeah, one is in Shema is in Vayet Chanan, and Vaya'im Shema is in Akev, the next parasha. The only question, Rabotai, did they wear tefillin in the midbar? Did we ask this last time? No. What do you think, Rabotai? Well, if it says Kadesh Li Kol Bechor, and it says at the end of that, yeah, and this is written at the end of Parashat Bo. So what would you think? Is there a mitzvah of tefillin? People came in Mitzrayim, in Egypt. And but what's the problem, Stephen? Yeah, I mean, and also right. So how can you tell me to write 4 compartments when 2 of them have not even been transmitted? We don't even know about them, Shema. So some say they heard. That wasn't there. So then, according to this explanation, You know, tat-fat is two in African and in another language. So it could be, according to that, tat-fat means it's two words. It's two words meaning two, but it's only two. Yeah, that's what. Anyway, so in Tefillin Shel Yad, it's straightforward. Now in the Tefillin Shel Rosh, so if we look at the Tefillin Shel Rosh, the which way? Where is Kadesh Likol Bechor? If I open, okay. Any suggestions? Where is Kadesh Likol Bechor? On my left or on your left? Where is it starting from? From there to there or there to there? Okay. Look. How can you tell the difference between Tefillin Shel Rashi and Tefillin Rabbeinu Tam? Did I? Yes. That's the difference. Rabbeinu Tam, actually, interestingly enough, will not wear these tefillin, even though we call it Rabbeinu Tam tefillin, because of another thing. Here, we're going to be speaking about the order of the parashiot, and Rabbeinu Tam will not wear these tefillin, even though they're called Rabbeinu Tam tefillin, because of another reason. He holds that the parashiot lie like this. You know, Rabbeinu Tam's mezuzah is how? Horizontal. His the parashiot here and ours are, you read it, right? So if you were reading the parasha, you would read it downwards. According to Rabbeinu Tam, it's flat. Yeah, this is one. Yeah, and therefore we call it Rabbeinu Tam tefillin because it's of the order. Now, according to Rabbeinu Tam, can you see the difference? Okay, mine you can't see. Can you see where the hair is? The last one, the last groove on the right. And here, it's where the hair's right in the middle. That's right, that's the only way you can tell Rashi from the no other way. And of course, Tefillin Shel Yad, you can't tell whether it's Rabbeinu Tam or not. All inside. So there's a topic as much as tefillin, which has got so many halachot leMoshe Sinai. Yeah, we know it's just been transmitted over. Can anybody tell me any of them? Well, what does it say? It almost doesn't say anything in the Torah. So almost anything you know about tefillin is going to be halacha leMoshe Sinai. For instance, that's not quite halacha leMoshe Sinai. That's a drosha. That's true. It's drosha. You won't. Yad Ker will get to square. Doesn't say anywhere in the Torah square. Perfectly square. Halacha leMoshe Sinai. Another one. Black. Leather. Doesn't say anything about straps. Nothing in the Torah about straps. What about there's got to be from a kosher animal? No. That's me now. Chazal make a drosha that it's got to be from something made from something which you are allowed to eat. However, only the type of animal. The animals which they actually use are not animals which they shech for some reason. They're not as good quality. As long as it's a kosher animal, yeah, then even though practically speaking it's not been shechted, that's okay because it's just defining the species of which you have to. It doesn't have to actually be kosher. But another is each parasha inside has got to be wrapped. It's got to be wrapped with a piece of parchment. And again, another halacha Mishum Sinai is the calf's hair, which they use to bind on the outside, wraps each one of the parashas. And then another halacha Mishum Sinai is that the other thing like this is me'akiv. That means if you look at the Twitter, hey, where are these hairs? It doesn't. I don't think it renders it possible, but it's certainly like have these hairs. So why is Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam, and I'll pass this around as we let's go. Tell me, why is the hairs of why are they in the top? Right now, which has to have the hair sticking out of the box. V'haya, yeah, v'haya im shema. That's the parsha which needs to have, and it stuck out. It sticks out on, well, again, from the wearer's perspective. So I'm wearing it on the right. You're looking at me on your right. So therefore, according to Rashi, now I asked you, how do you know which way? On the left? See? Now, I'm going to ask you, the hair is wrapping around to the left side of it, of the wearer. I'm going to from now speak mitzad the wearer, right? So it's on the left, it's sticking out on the left side. So can you please tell me where is Kadesh Li and where is it going from there to there or from there to there? We're speaking from, so where does Kadesh Li start? Agreed? Is it rocket science, Stephen? Well, which one is that? That's wrapping right. This one is wrapping round Bahayim Shema. So right, okay. So there you go. Okay, Rabbi. Yeah, even so, you don't need to know. It's not rocket science, and you don't even need, because I'm around and wear one of these. I still can't remember which way. Why is it tricky? Why is it tricky? What's the trick about it? Because you wouldn't have expected it to start like that, would you? On the left. If the Hebrew starts on the right, then you wouldn't have started. Yeah, and we're going from the wearer's point of view. It's starting on the left, right? So on anybody else, one first. Kadesh Li, Vaya Keviacha, Shema, V'haya im Shema, and V'haya im Shema has got they all have. What's the difference? They all have so what's the difference? Only V'haya im Shema has got it sticking out. So now, as I said, Ben Sam, can you run your name? Your son? No. Sonny. Your son? Yeah. Mr. Huntman. Yeah. Please tell us the order of the Any candidates? Come on, Stephen. Okay. Well, otherwise, what's the point of weighing two? So there's got to be some difference, right? That's why I first said, come on, guys. Marsha, Vayam Shama. There's no argument about that. So, unless nothing changed. Unless you know. Kadesh Li, the same. Kadesh Li, then Vaya Kiyaviacha, second question. Then that's exactly the exact. Comes before Shema. Why? What's the okay? And he says, "Hey, mister, can you imagine Rashi, the Zokin Adar, yeah, Rabban Shel Kol Hagola, yeah, comes along his young grandson and says, I'm sorry, Granddad, Zaidi got it wrong. He often did that, Rabbi Nutam, yeah? There isn't. ever in history that was zeicher to what Rashi had. Rashi did not have any boys. No, didn't have any boys. But you had the greatest family. I think there's no question about it. The greatest family, concentration of Torah within one family. The Bale, all the Bale Tosfot, all the Torah that we have is from Rashi and his household. But and I think part of the greatness of Rashi is that he allowed his own grandchildren, and they argue with him strongly. Rabbeinu Tam said, "I'm sorry. Yeah, it doesn't matter that it's my grandfather. I want to tell it's Kadesh Li, Vayam Shema, then." No, that's Rashi. Vayam Shema. Now what? Because because Shema, and he held that you've got to look at Shema at the beginning of a new section. If it's in the middle, it doesn't look as if it's Shema and Shema. If you look from the outside, that's Shema v'hayim Shema. You look from that side, Shema and v'hayim Shema, and then Kadesh Li v'yakav yacha. That's Rabbeinu Tam's shita. So that's how you can straight away. Yeah. That's that it is whether it's Rabbeinu. Right. Okay. Now, how do you want the tefillin to be? Now, the tefillin have to be square. I don't know how you're suggesting to have it. Yeah. I don't even know if this compromise. We'll really be happy with it, because first of all, we don't make it 45. We don't make it 45 degrees. It's much more vertical than it is horizontal. And some say, according to Rabbeinu Tam, it doesn't even help for another reason. Anybody know? Rabbeinu Tam held it goes into the doorpost. Rabbeinu Tam. But okay. So now I'm going to ask Stephen to give me his tefillin, please, Shirash, and I'm going to ask you before, and and I'm asking you to recognize. Tell me how you can tell the difference between Shirash and between Ashkenazi and Sfardi tefillin. I hope you've got Ashkenazi. Yes. Okay. Anybody? How can you tell? Okay. So you can't tell from tefillin shel yad. The shin. Can you see the difference? Okay. I prefer that it's not all part. Well, let's show it to the camera. This is a Sfardi shin. Can you see? It doesn't come to one point. Can you see? It's like a diagonal base. Can you see, Rabbi, on Zoom? Yeah. And this is the Ashkenazi tefillin. Comes to one point. Okay. That's how you can tell the difference between. So, yeah, you can have a look afterwards. I don't want it to go around. Okay. What else? Okay. What else can you tell? Tefillin shel. Now, Stephen, tefillin shel yad. How can you tell the difference from tefillin shel yad between Ashkenazi and Sfardi, or the Sfardi may have the same as Nusach Sfard? Anybody Nusach Sfard here? No. Okay. Now we both got the Yud. That's interesting, Yud, but it should be like this. Yeah. Okay. It is. It's got a gate there. So. Okay. So what's the difference? Okay. I put on the tefillin. Stephen, you tell us the difference. Yeah? So okay. Okay, like this. Then as I make the blessing after I've done the first round, because it's not called. This is not called attached to my arm yet. and therefore it's still called over la'asiyatan, which means making the blessing before you do the mitzvah. Because this is not called tide. Because the reason why it's staying on is because I'm holding it with my hand, right? So that's not called tide. So therefore, I make the blessing then. Baruch atah, shake the shalom stuff. And can you see? And I'm turning like this. Obviously, I don't speak. And I do 8. Why 8? Why 8? Why 8? We do 7 the same as you. So why do we do 8? The idea is 7. No? Again, not rocket science. This is not. Okay, so really, I've got 7, 2, 6, 7. This is not considered one. My father told me, Abraham, Yitzchak, Israel, Avotenu. Yeah, but Aval, of course, don't say those before you put on your tefillin sharash. Important. This is not the most important thing. Yeah? Even if you do 1, as long as the tefillin can just stay in place, let's say a person's strap was cut. Rabbi, I can't do 5. I can't do 7. No problem. Just do as many as you can. Yeah? Just do as many as you can. The main thing is, yeah, that the tefillin can hold. That's what it says. Yeah? And that means, but if the only way it can hold is me holding it, that's not called ukshata. Okay? Okay, so that's another difference, Rabotai. Now this time in what it looks like or the way it's done, but another difference between the Sfardim and Ashkenazi. One very good, yeah. It's al pi Kabbalah, Kabbalistically. Sit down for Shel Yad, not for Sharash. We sit down for Shel Yad. In fact, I grew up in United Synagogue, and I just grew up with standing up, wearing tefillin. And when I became Rav here, I continued, because if you're not used to something, it's very, very hard to change. Very, very hard to change. Somebody once, you take your watch and put it, go through the day like that. You see, it's hardly a change, but you're just uncomfortable. What's it got? Because change. Anyway, in the end, I did change. It's al pi Kabbalah, and I think the only reasons why Ashkenazim don't do it because it's like it looks prideful. But another thing, and we'll finish with that. How many? A blessing on your head, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. So it's to do with blessing. Yeah. What's the difference between Sfardim and Ashkenazim? And it's to do with the blessing. Bracha. One bracha. Sfardim, one bracha. And it goes on Shel Yad and Sharash. Don't say al mitzvah tefillin. Yeah? When do Sfardim make mitzvah al mitzvah tefillin? If they speak in the middle. If they speak in the middle between the Shel Yad and Sharash. Then you need Ashkenazi. They do. They follow the Tosfot. Always 2 blessings. Lehaniach. Now this is where people make a mistake. It's not that Lehaniach is going on tefillin Shel Yad and al mitzvah tefillin is going on. That's not the explanation. Lehaniach is going on. It's weird, isn't it? It's strange that you got 2 brachot on the tefillin sharash. Lehaniach tefillin, and then you add another mitzvah because it's got more kedusha tefillin sharash. You say, what happens if an Ashkenazi speaks in the middle? Or when I say speak, even if he answers, yeah, you're not allowed to do anything. What happens if he tefillin shel Yad and tefillin sharash? Another laniach. There's another laniach because tefillin sharash, according to the Ashkenazi, has 2 brachot. You're nafsik. Your laniach, which you made on tefillin shel Yad, cannot be going on tefillin sharash because you spoke. You need to make another 2 brachot. However, what do they say at the end? Yeah, which is very interesting. This is not something. we have a klal. If in doubt, leave it out. That's normally the klal when it comes to blessing. Therefore, if I don't remember, if I made the first bracha on this delicious croissant, rods, rods, then do I make a blessing? Why? If in doubt, leave it out. Here, no. So here the Ramah is an interesting compromise. No, we hold like Tosfot, what they call the Frenchies, yeah. We make 2 brachot. We'll make Baruch Shem Kavod Machotol Olam, just in case it was a bracha. Okay, I hope that was informative. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you for all the Zoomers for zooming in.
That was very interesting. I'll say goodbye to those on Zoom, and we'll see you all next week. I'll advise you of the speaker, and I'll do the bracha achrona for those remaining here in London. Right.